In this video, we will explore common Node.js errors and how to solve them. Understanding these errors and their solutions is crucial for becoming a proficient Node.js developer. One of the most common errors in Node.js is the syntax error. This error occurs when the Node.js interpreter encounters invalid JavaScript code that it cannot understand or parse. For example, if you forget to close a parenthesis in a console.log statement, like console.log with the message "Hello World," without closing the parenthesis, Node.js will throw a syntax error, indicating a missing parenthesis after the argument list. In essence, a syntax error means you have written something that is not valid JavaScript. The solution to a syntax error is to carefully review your code and correct any syntax mistakes. Integrated Development Environment, also known as IDE, syntax highlighting can be very helpful in identifying these errors, as it visually distinguishes different parts of your code. Always double-check your brackets and parentheses to ensure they are properly opened and closed. Here's an example of a fixed code. Console.log with the message "Hello World" has a closing parenthesis. This means that it is now working correctly. Next, we'll discuss the reference error. This error arises when you try to use a variable that has not been declared or is not accessible in the current scope. For example, if you try to print the value of a variable called myVariable without declaring it first, Node.js will throw a reference error, stating that myVariable is not defined. Essentially, you are trying to use something that the system doesn't know about. To resolve a reference error, make sure to declare your variables before using them. Pay close attention to the scope of your variables, ensuring they are accessible from where you are trying to use them. Here's a sample of a solution. Declare a variable called myVariable and assign the message "hello" to it. Now, if you print the value of myVariable, it will work correctly because the variable has been properly declared. The type error occurs when you attempt to use a value in a way that is inappropriate for its data type. For instance, if you have a variable number that is assigned a null value, and then you try to call the toUpperCase method on it, Node.js will throw a type error because toUpperCase is a method that can only be used with strings, not with null values. The error message will typically say that it cannot read property toUpperCase of null. To prevent type errors, it's essential to validate data types before performing operations on them. Add checks for null or undefined values, and ensure that the data types are correct before using them. Here's an example of how to avoid this error. First, declare a variable named text and assign the message "hello" to it. Then add an if statement to check if the text exists and the data type of the text is of type string. If that is true, then call the toUpperCase method on it. Module errors typically occur when Node.js cannot find a module that you are trying to import. This can happen if the module is not installed or if the file path is incorrect. For example, if you try to require the Express module without installing it first, Node.js will throw an error indicating that it cannot find the module Express. To fix module errors, you need to ensure that all required modules are installed. Use the npm install command followed by the module name to install any missing packages. Verify that you have the correct file paths when requiring modules. You can check your project's package.json file to see the installed modules. You can also use the command npm list to see a tree of installed packages and their dependencies. To effectively debug Node.js applications, there are several best practices you can follow. First, always read error messages carefully, as they often provide valuable clues about the cause of the problem. Use console.log statements strategically to inspect variables and track the flow of your code. Enable strict mode to catch common coding mistakes. And leverage the Node.js debugger for more advanced debugging scenarios. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.